Okay, today's video we're talking about how your PPC campaigns or money you put into your PPC affects your SEO slash, if you want to call it, organic traffic coming from Google as well as Amazon. I'm going to talk about organic or Amazon traffic as well here. Long story short, what the video here is going to get into is it's going to explain why the PPC is a fundamental part of the organic traffic that you're going to get. And basically, if you're gunning for organic traffic by itself or as its own thing, basically you're going to be in for a long ride if you have no PPC strategy. But I'm going to explain why the PPC directly affects the SEO, so you understand why you should be looking at both at the same time versus just organic. Respectively, it's never just PPC, because if you do PPC right, truly do it right, which doing it right means you're actually beating your competition at the game of serving the user's needs at a higher level than other people that are gunning for your same ad space and your same market and your same customers. The organic comes along for the ride, and very much so. So I'll explain how much that comes along for the ride of or for. And with that, how to get a lot of organic traffic just by doing the PPC right. And respectively, if you're going to put an organic SEO campaign, you're going to spend money on SEO, why that budget should probably be better off put towards PPC to actually get the SEO or organic traffic, because it's so much easier doing it that way than it is going after the organic all by itself. So I'll explain all that in this video, why all that is, and ultimately how you can get a lot more organic traffic for your business going on just by having the PPC set up right, okay? So right off the bat, everybody wants free profitable traffic to their sites when they're in business, especially starting out. New businesses, oh, I don't have any money, crap, how am I going to get customers? The first thing they think of is, oh, SEO, this doesn't cost any money. However, those free clicks do not come for those who need them the most. So in other words, like a lot of things, most things in life, the people who actually need something for free or for cheap aren't the ones who get it. Celebrities given stuff all the time for free. Homeless people don't get crap for free. The people who need free organic traffic to their sites because they have no money don't get it. The people that are the leaders in the space who already have, half of the market share out there and do, millions a year in sales, they could get by with or without the organic traffic. They get a majority of it as well. And that's what part of what solidifies their position. Respectively, when you're talking about PPC or SEO here, it's a competition with you and everybody else. In organic, in that space, it's even a greater competition because everybody in your space wants the free traffic. At least when you're doing PPC, it's probably only 10 to 20 in any time cycling in and out of the ad spots, which a lot of people don't recognize that, by the way. You have 4 spots on top of Google. Google's trying to rotate 10 to 20 people out in any kind of halfway competitive market. Why? To see who's going to serve the user the best, because they want to push all the traffic to the people who takes people from click to got what they wanted in as quick and as easy manner as possible, so people click on ads in the future. Nobody owes you any kind of traffic. Google's a private company. Yes, you could think of how, they're greedy or whatever. I've heard this whole thing before, that they should charge, in order, it's like a gateway to being in business. Well, I got to be seen there to get customers, and Google's so greedy, they want me to pay so much to get those customers. Well, everybody wants that, the same deal. They want the customers for as cheap as possible. What's great, on the flip side, what's great about Google's system is anybody, and I mean anybody, can come to the show, just like capitalism as a whole, if they work their butt off and figure out a way to do it better than the existing people that are there, they can be the one who takes over and becomes the top guy. It's open to anybody, anytime. Yes, there's some hidden knowledge you got to know to be able to do that effectively. But respectively, we're in 2022 today. You got channels like mine that tell you basically for free what you got to do to beat your competition, in which aren't being utilized by the competition because they're inherently lazy, especially when you're somewhat successful. Now you're even more lazy, even though you have time and actual resources to put towards it. You figure out a way to do it better, you deserve to have all the customers coming to you. So regardless of how bad you need it, Google doesn't owe you anything and Amazon doesn't owe you anything. You're going to have to figure out, nothing's for free. How am I going to set my website up so that the organic traffic that I want naturally just comes to me? I.e., another way of just summarizing that whole thing is, how can I serve my users better than the people that are ranking already and get the organic traffic, so that naturally they want to come to me instead? That's the whole thing. If you solve that one thing, you've solved everything. So this whole, all these gimmicks, SEO gimmicks, getting the backlinks, writing articles, it's overcomplicating the situation. If you start from the foundation that I'm just going to fundamentally do something that's different, I'm going to, for instance, survey my customers that I do have coming in, or if I don't have customers yet, I'm going to go to support forums and I'm going to say, hey, if you bought a product like this that you currently buy now, and what do you hate about it? And if you had your way, what would the product have? And just start studying and start trying to figure out how to change what you have so it's more accommodating to the existing market as it sits and its current weaknesses, or what it lacks, if you will. If you can't change the product or service, figure out how to repackage it in terms of maybe the literal packaging if you have a product, but also how it's framed so that it sounds, whether that's adding a guarantee or having a money back trial or something like that, so that it also seems better, in which you can go out there and study and figure out if you repackage it a different way, people would more so want to come to you at a surface level if they saw it. And so once you've done that, now you've got the base done of what you want to do. If you've done your work right now, done that work correctly of figuring out, not just trying to come to the market and be the me too and buy my stuff. Why? Because I need money. I'm actually solving the market's problem doing X, Y, Z. And generally speaking, you got to be 10 times better than the existing market, what they have in terms of what concept, your unique differential of what you're offering to the market, to actually, when you're starting with little to no money, be able to enter the market and not go out of business before, basically you run out of little money you have. And with that said, you can go at it with a tiny ad budget, and if you've done your job right, that tiny bit of ad budget should already start making money, okay? Once you start making money, then you've got the ball rolling in the general direction that's going to get you the eventual mountain of organic traffic, which makes half of your sales ultimately that you're going to get at your company. I deal with a lot of clients here. We have a few dozen clients that guaranteed PPC at any given time. And I tell people all the time, don't hire an SEO company before you hire a PPC company, because respectively, it's delaying the whole thing, which if you can't figure out a way to get, in terms of your offer, that PPC ads, once the PPC ads is done right, which I can always assure we can set it up right for them, your foundation's rotten and you should get that first. And if you get the PPC right, the organic will come along, and so much so that whatever you're making for PPC, you'll double it just in terms of what the organic is going to come in as a byproduct of getting the PPC right and once you've scaled it up. Respectively, this is an extra bonus here in terms of content. With Google Ads, if you get your ad spend about 10 grand a month, if you can actually figure out how to make the ads work and recycle what you're doing into ads, 10 grand a month, your organic goes nuts. Just as a side tip, and Google's not going to admit that. This is something that I've seen regularly here. With Amazon, even if you spend a few grand a month, like $3,000 a month, your organic goes a lot higher. So knowing that if you could just give, which makes sense. If you're Google, if you're Amazon, who are you going to give the free traffic to? Are you going to give it to the person who hates you and thinks they are owed everything and aren't ever going to give you any money because they hate you? Or are you going to give it to the person who spends money and who's trying to make their business work and are willing to invest? They want to give inherently, even from the executives level, they want to give the traffic to the person who is spending a little with them. And respectively, here's also what happens. If people are investing in the ads, a lot of people don't have their tracking set up very good. Even big companies, like less than half of companies have the tracking set up right that I audit and see at a regular basis here for their PPC or to analyze any of their traffic for that matter. And so what do they do to see if the ads are working respectively? When the customers come in, the few that they talk to, they ask, how did you find us? And they'll say, Google. Google doesn't differentiate whether that's Google Ads or Google Organic. So if Google is going to give the traffic to somebody and they want people to think that their ads worked, and because people they are unspecific as to whether it was an ad or not, and even if, by the way, if you ask them, did you click on an ad or did you click on the organic, they're not going to reliably tell you, sorry, that's not what it is. Hook up your tracking the right way and do it the right way, which anybody can do. It's not rocket science. So they want people to think their ads work as much as they can. So if they give them a little free traffic, they're ultimately going to think it's going to work more than as a whole than they were before with no free traffic that they're giving them, substantial free traffic that they're giving them, and they're going to be more likely to stay wanting to advertise with Google. Now, of course, Google knows that if they don't advertise, somebody else will, but at the same time, they're not trying to, as much as it seems, piss everybody off and just take everything they can. They want as many people who are willing to try to improve their ads, their landing pages, so that the user gets a better experience as they can. Why? Because with the more people competing all the time, the more the overall system's going to be going to work to get the overall ads that are there on any given time to be as good as possible in terms of serving the user's needs. It's like going back to the capitalism analogy that I gave you before. Where are the best products and services going to be in a system where there's a lot of protectionism and crony capitalism and stuff, or where all the people get to compete? The competition gives the best products and services at the lowest prices. The prices isn't relevant here, but it gets the overall output of the economy to be more. And so that's what Google's trying to create with their own ecosystem, and so is Amazon. They want people to come to the table with an intention to do better, both in terms of the offer of what they're offering, as well as how they're marketing it. So what you're trying to do is start with a base that works, get PPC to work on a small scale basis, and then parlay that into more ads, which then will automatically, you could automatically assume that if you have PPC going, even if you don't get to 10 grand a month on Google or 3 grand a month on Amazon, you'll still get more organic traffic with even a teeny bit of ad spend or a teeny bit more of ad spend. It gets more the more you spend. It just really goes nuts at that 3K, 10K point that I mentioned. But so respectively, you go at the market knowing, okay, I have a product which has a money back guaranteed. Nobody else has that, and I know people want that because I've asked the customers, and I put it together so it's possible for me to do that, and know that even though they're going to return at such and such a rate, that I'm going to make so much money and it's going to make up for it, and I got something good. That should happen before you even run PPC ads, or you restructure it and you figure out how to offer a cheaper price or whatever. You get your edge. Everybody can come up with their edge, and if you can't come up with one, find something where you can offer where you will. Because when you have something identical to 20 other people and you're trying to sell it with PPC ads, guess what? They're just going to go for the cheapest one a lot of times, or at least enough that you're going to find it real damn hard to make your ads work. Okay, that's the case. If you're one equivalent of that, just real quick, is like if you're selling branded products. If I'm selling Nike tennis shoes, and there's 5 other people selling the exact shoe by name, who are you going to go with? It's too easy to just click around and find who's the cheapest and buy it from them, assuming the site doesn't look like crap and I can still trust it, right? So that's how you got to think about what you're doing, whether it's a plumbing service or you're selling hole digging equipment, figuring out how you can, at a face level, even for, not expert consumers, they understand, but when they see it, they know why it's better, and that you can say it in a sentence, basically, why it's better, get across why it's better, because you only got so much attention span of the user and get that message across. Then you've got something that should be able to work with PPC every time. If you can legitimately know what the market wants, come at them with PPC strategy, like what's on this channel, which is all stuff that the average person, 99% of people aren't going to be doing. Therefore, if you do it, you serve the users better in terms of the actual implementation of how the ad shows up, who it shows up for, making sure you have the right ads, then you should have something that's for sure going to make you money. Maybe not immediately, but eventually, as is it, I mentioned how PPC works before. If you set it up with that structure, it's not a matter of if, but when, and you're just trying to get to the when part where you're in the profitable territory as quickly as possible within the first few months, whatever. So you start out with, everything starts out with a small budget. What happens is you start out with a small budget in terms of you wanting to get a bunch of sales and organic traffic and or just basically saying sales from organic traffic. It starts with the PPC campaign, because if you have a site with no traffic going to it, your organic is not going to be there. It's not going to have a site come online, okay? Very, very, very rare. If you have something that has high demand and there's no existing solution, maybe. But in a competitive market, forget about it. You have a good offer that you have an angle that works in the market of people, what they want, and you try your hardest to get that initial $500 a month or whatever you're spending on PPC ads, $1,000 a month, $3,000 a month to work. You make that ad spend work as if your life depended on it. You write the best possible ads, not just a ad, the best ad. You watch some of my videos, you understand how to set the campaigns up in a way that other people aren't going to be willing to do it to serve the user better. You start making sales. Then you recycle that money, because you can't just be like, oh, I got my profit, I'm going out for a steak dinner today. Recycle it back. So you get to a few thousand a month in PPC ad spend. You just got to recycle all of it. This is going to take you forever. You get more sales, then you put more you start doing more ads. Okay, this is why you study more before you start, because ultimately you don't want to run out of money. You want things that things are set up good enough to where it's better than the competition. It really is a matter of when it will work, not if. Because if you go from that angle, you won't run out of money. You'll be able to live another day as you're running these ads, and they'll be paying for themselves, so that you're able to do a little bit more ads, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. This is how big fortunes are always started in terms of the big people you see in your market doing PPC ads. They're all started small. They never started out at $50,000 a month in ad spend. People think this is a misnomer. Or basically virtually every time. Okay, unless you're talking about people with investor funds, that's a different story. You do a few more ads. Then your reviews start coming in, okay? Which is good. Having more reviews result in make your conversion rates on your PPC campaigns go up even higher. You have more potential from PPC as a whole because you got more reviews. Why? Because a lot of people look at the reviews before they buy. If you have a cleaning service, they're looking at the reviews. If you have a original product that you make, they're looking at the reviews. If you have a professional service, they're looking at the reviews. That goes into how much money you're going to make from the PPC, a ton. If you have no reviews, you could practically assume whatever potential that you had with PPC is cut in half versus when you have a lot of reviews. Okay, it matters that much. Just as a side note to this whole thing. Now, you naturally can double the potential of PPC once you get so many reviews. Having some will increase the potential some, and the more reviews you get up to a certain point, it'll keep going to where you've basically doubled the output potential out of your ads. So then you have enough money to run a few more PPC ads, and you continue to build things up. This is what the process the big guys have went through years before you and just rolled up their sleeves and did it and committed to making it work no matter what for them. Get through all the, if they stumbled, they got up and they kept at it till they figured out how the ads needed to work. And then after that, all that, your rankings come. You'll see for sure, specifically on Amazon, how much the reviews affect the organic rankings. The great thing is it's so easily to measure on Amazon. You get a review, you'll see your ranking in the categories listed on the product listings itself rise with one review. One review! And every review, if you track it, go put it into a spreadsheet, track it on each date, and see your rankings go up. And what you write down in a spreadsheet, date, number of reviews, ranking in each visible category that it's putting you in, and then the next date, number of reviews. Assuming you have a lot of sales, it'll keep going up, and then of course your ranking will keep going up and up and up. So another way to put it is the more reviews you get, the higher your ranking is going to be. Now, good rankings, this is assuming you have good rankings, like 5-star rankings. If you start getting 2-star rankings, the opposite will basically happen, or anything under 3 stars. So your goal really is to make, in other words, going back to the full circle with what I was saying here, your goal on Amazon to get organic traffic there, since I mainly talked about Google so far, is to get a PPC campaign, work enough on it that it'll work enough to at least break even so that you can get some reviews going. Once you get reviews going, you'll start to get organic traffic. Your PPC may not even do anything else besides break even in terms of the sales minus your product cost and all your other expenses, but you're now starting to get a subsidization of that cost of your ads via the organic traffic you're going to get on those product listings now. And the more reviews you get, the more organic traffic you'll get. So you're going to basically use the PPC ads on Amazon. Sponsored product ads primarily is what I use to keep ranking higher and higher and higher in the organic category. Basically, when I'm ranked as high as I can in all the categories that matter on Amazon, then I made it. Okay? So, respectively, you can track things yourself, and you'll be able to directly see very, very easily how, or just do search result. Check the search results in your space for keywords that represent your products, how much this is actually true. So instead of getting all bent out of shape and saying, life is not fair, I shouldn't have to have money to be able to make money. You spend money on the ads. Amazon set things up so that people who are willing to spend it are also, they're willing to give you the free traffic. And it's sort of what the system also is designed for is it's designed to separate out all the crap. If you're selling dog crap that's not going to get good reviews from people, then Amazon's never going to promote it. So you are willing to your product's good enough, guess what you're going to do? You're going to be willing to spend on ads because you believe that much in it. Otherwise, or just as a whole, we'll just say, as a whole, people who believe less in their products aren't willing to spend ads on it. People who have spent a lot of time on their product will, as a whole. And it's a filter. Can you get good reviews? If you can get good reviews, the ads will start to make money when you consider half of what you get from the ads is the organic traffic. And so when you combine the organic with the paid, you're making a profit, the whole system works. A lot of people think, I tell people, mostly with the Google ads, Google ads, okay, you're not going to a lot of times make money with the Google ads by itself. Why? Because just like with the Amazon ads I told you, the Google ads, half of what you get is subsidized through the organic traffic that you get, also a little bit from referral traffic that you're going to get as a byproduct of just being known in your market and getting out there with your paid ads. But they don't look at it. And then also, tracking is only so good. If you're looking at the tracking, it's like Google ads, for instance. you may say you get a 3-to-1 return, $3 of revenue for every dollar of ad spend. What you're really getting is 6 or 7-to-1, because some people, they come back a year from now, and people way underestimate how much that happens. Or I think it's really they know it, but they don't want to realize it because they want it to happen right now. I want to make money right now. If it was that easy, your competition will already be doing it, okay? This is a test. You can look at it as a test to see how bad you want it. Are you willing to look at things from a wider time horizon and put in the time to actually physically create this whole pathway for yourself to where you're not going to be necessarily making money from the PPC ads, or a little bit. You'll be thinking, oh, I'm working hard for a little bit. But when those organic rankings come, oh boy, now it starts making a lot of money, because you basically just doubled your sales for the same amount of ad cost. Okay? So look at it as a full package. I've mentioned many times in my other videos, almost every single time, the best situation to track your investment into ads is to say, take a 3-year spreadsheet, put in your sales by month going back 3 years, and then put your ad spend, and then also by month, put in your sales by month as you overall from your everything coming into your company, put in your sales, and then physically put in another row for your ad spend. And so as you invest more into ads, you should be able to see your sales trend up year over year. The more ad spend you put in it, and the longer you work on and have those ads going, basically, and so that you can physically see, basically, because normally if you're going to start doing ads, that's going to be the only thing you're going to do to increase your marketing at that time. Okay, so people argue with me and they say, well, I can't, I've got other stuff going on. Well, stop doing anything new for 6 months. Start doing the ads. You'll see the overall sales go up a lot, and it'll be a lot more than the tracking site Google Ads tells you, because Google Ads, the tracking's only so good. It's good at finding out mobile versus desktop and how profitable each are, but it's not good at telling you the overall effect of the ROI, because the tracking's not capturing everything. It's always underestimating to some degree. So you do the ads, and you'll start out with like a starting $1,000 a month budget, right? And then you'll see the sales go up, and they'll keep going up the longer you run it for the first 6 months, because the people that come into your site right away, there's some of the people that won't come back for up to 6 months. So to get the full effect out of the traffic, you got to wait for all the customers that would come back to come back. And then eventually your sales, in terms of your overall sales, will plateau out. And then that's a time where you can increase your budget of your PPC ads a little bit, and then you should see another similar increase in your overall sales come in, because you're looking at the direct effect of the sales from people who buy right away, the people that come back, the referral traffic, and what this video is about is the organic traffic. The organic traffic will certainly contribute to your overall value of the Google ads that you're running. But like I said, the goal is to get to, specifically on Google ads, to 10K a month, recycling, get to a part just like what I said with the Amazon ads, that the Google ads are paying for themselves. There's nothing that you're putting into it to get, once it, after the first few months, so that it's all paying for itself, the ads are paying for itself, and then start scaling your ad spend up a little at a time. You can't do it all at once, because the amount of time it takes from the day that you advertise to the time the full value of all the people coming back is so large. People underestimate that a lot, that you may run out of money short term, even though the long term the money would have came back in. You do it in stages. You go to $3,000 a month and $4,000 a month and $5,000 a month. Your goal is to keep doing that, because when you hit $10,000 a month, the organic traffic's going to pile in. Okay, so whereas we would love to have organic traffic and we don't have to pay anything for customers, you use the PPC as a tool to verify you got a good system, you have something that's competitive in your market, and you use it as a tool to get people in, so that, because when you have a lot of customers coming in, Google recognizes you as, and the same thing with Amazon, as an authority in your space. Why would they send all the traffic to somebody who they don't know isn't able to do good business. If they gave a lot of traffic to a new company coming in right away, that company fumbles the customer interaction, or the product isn't very good, it's not proven yet, people's going to get a bad taste in their mouth and a bad view of Google or Amazon as a whole, recommending them to a scam. Maybe not once, but after a whole, they're going to get pissed at what they're being referred to. Whereas if Google and Amazon refer the top person, maybe not every time will it be the case, but mostly they'll know if that person's doing millions a year in sales or whatever here, they're likely they must be doing something right in terms of the customer, what's being delivered to the customer. Therefore, they want to send as much traffic on the organic side to them as well. So respectively, they want you to prove to them that you can do a good job. Amazon's got it with the reviews. Google more so does it just by looking at how much volume of people searching for your company, a lot of which, by the way, is do they type in your brand name in Google and go to your site? Because they know if people are doing that, you must be getting a lot of people coming back or referring, which is a direct signal of you having something that you've done something right in terms of the delivery and what you're offering there. Therefore, all the free traffic they have to send to somebody should go to you because it's the least risky to send it to them. The more customers you get and the more reviews you get, the more rankings you're going to get. Amazon relies on the reviews a lot more than Google, but anymore, Google also relies on their reviews, okay? They look at their own Google reviews. They also look at other review sources on the web, believe it or not. The more, and which makes logical sense. Again, going back to what I said, they don't want to send their traffic to somebody who might fumble the customers and potentially to send them to a scam. Not to say you're a scam, but they want to go with whoever's least likely to be a scam. You get a good review that Google can see. Now it's less of a risk for them to send traffic to you. And the more reviews you get that are positive, at least, the less and less risk of it is, to the point where you got more reviews than everybody else. Then naturally you're the number one person they want to send all the traffic to. And it's not on or off, so the more reviews you get, the more traffic you'll get statistically as your authority goes up and up. So you got to have a good product or service that works, that has value in your market, and you've got something that to offer that's good. You figured out something good to offer your market, but really you're proving to Google and Amazon what you have can serve the user in terms of the reviews, and what you have is wanted enough that you can basically one way or another afford to get more and more customers. And when they know you can get a lot of customers and handle it, and the reviews are good, that's when the rankings start coming in huge chunks. Whereas right away, they don't know nothing about your site, the rankings don't come. Back in before 2012, I've been doing online marketing since 2005. Used to be able to put keywords on your site and have backlinks to go to your site to kind of trick Google, particularly. And that stuff practically is gone, okay? Why? Because ultimately, Google knows that's easy to game. But if you get to the front page of Google, by the way, or if you get somehow to the top of Amazon, once you get the customers, if you get bad reviews, you're going to go down again. So fundamentally, you've got to have a good offer. Otherwise, none of that other stuff's going to matter. Therefore, that's why I say hiring an SEO company doesn't make any sense anymore, because if what you have is good, it should make money with PPC, assuming you've got the top actual PPC methods working for you. That there's no reason to do all this other gimmicky stuff that you're fighting against what Google wants in the first place. Whereas if you just go at it as, I'm going to have the best product that has the best terms or the best features, naturally all this stuff is going to happen anyway. And go at it from that angle. Respectively, the other big, in terms of the reviews and making sure you have a lot of customers, in terms of whether you get ranked on Google and Amazon, by the way, is do they click through your organic listing at a high rate? And do they go back to Google or Amazon to click on something else once they've gotten to your site or to your product page? Because not only is it important that they see that you get customers that are happy and you get other people to come back and refer you to, but also they want to see that if they're going to, naturally right up front when people are searching, is what you have to offer look initially appealing, because that's also a factor that it determines whether or not people come back to Google and Amazon to use their site again. So instead of doing all this gimmicky stuff, all this SEO crap that used to work, it wasn't inexpensive to do to get a lot of results, bypass all that stuff, figure out how to have something that's genuinely going to be able to be a groundbreaker in your market, enough to where PPC ads can work as long as you put the work in on the ads to make sure the ads are better than your competition, and build stuff up the right way. Because when you do, you'll have those rankings, and they are not going anywhere once those rankings start coming in. They're there. Going back to the last thing, or the first thing I said in this video to wrap everything up, nobody owes you those clicks. So you got to prove to them that you have something great. And once you do, they give you everything you want in terms of the free traffic. But until you do, sorry, you got to go through the hurdles like everybody else in your market has to. Everybody wants those customers. The people who get them are going to be the people who have a good product, good enough to where with the right ad strategies, they can make money with the ads, and the ads are self-perpetuate because you got something good to be marketed. You prove to Google and Amazon that you can handle the customers on scale, and then all the organic traffic comes to you. They take it away from everybody else. Everybody wants all the customers from organic without putting the work in and without proving themselves first, and that's not how it works anymore. Okay? Naturally, if you're an old company, you might see some people that rely on organic traffic by itself. But anymore getting started today, just trying to rely on free traffic, pretty much forget it. Or at the very least, it's 10 times easier just to figure out how to get the PPC to work, because it's not that hard to get the PPC to work, and the PPC starts getting you customers immediately. And you can scale up a PPC campaign from $1,000 a month to 20 grand a month in a couple years' time, is recycling the profit you make right back into it if you just follow the strategies that I give you on this channel, which I'm not trying to talk this channel up. I'm sure there's other good information out there. It's the best information that I think is on YouTube here, at least, in terms of the actual strategies you can use to get better results than your competition. Therefore, Google wants to send all the traffic to you versus them. Everything should fall into place. So let Google and Amazon want to give you the traffic, not you do something kind of goofy to hopefully get it, or maybe, they just, maybe you decided on accident or temporarily to give it to you. Set up the foundation. You will have all the customers come to you anyway. That's why PPC will affect your SEO/organic clicks on Google, even Amazon. Google, Amazon wants to see you're a customer. They want to see that you are a proven company. And with that, if you can prove yourself and you're on their side, you're basically trying to help them with their business, they'll help you. If you like the video, I have a ton of other videos on this channel about other PPC money-making strategies. If you want to make a ton of money with PPC, you can look into those strategies. They'll be able to help you, be able to do that for your company. I have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog with step-by-step instructions on how to build PPC campaigns the way that I build them for our clients here. If you want to see kind of on a step-by-step basis that way to be able to learn how to do PPC, you can find information along those lines there. If you have any questions about SEO stuff, how PPC and SEO interact, and how the PPC is going to, perhaps get you the SEO, leave me a comment down below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel or question on this channel within a day or two time. Now, that all said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope this put things into perspective for you. How, why you're not getting organic traffic, how you can get it, and why it's so hard to get organic traffic starting out for basically every company that's entering the market and trying to do business online for the first time. Have a good one.